Enochian.org back again, and I'll just continue with my ranting. How to do some good kick-ass magic by Athena. Here is a trick that I find works really well. Go outdoors. Not that you can't do some amazing stuff indoors. Not that we don't have temples, right? Or a lot of us have temples indoors or a workspace indoors, and we can pull off some amazing stuff. However, get your butt outdoors. Go to the beach, go to the forest. If you live in a city, I live in a large city, go to a park. There are parks around. You can just go and do some work. Just go in at times where most people aren't in the park. Maybe if you live in New York, it's different. But in general, the homeless people, they just leave you alone. They ignore you if you ignore them. They don't want to be arrested, whatever. Just go to a different part of the park than they're in. And it's go in the woods in the park, and you can get a lot of work done. Or go down the beach. Go down the beach at the lake, the ocean, the river, whichever. And you can get an amazing amount of work done at the parks. Your backyard, if you own a house, you're set. If you live in an apartment, this is a little harder. Every city has a park. Had a student once use the excuse no parks in their city. I don't think there is a city without a park. I've been to visit a lot of students. I went all through the states visiting students. It was like the Athena road trip or something. Anyway, traveled around to a lot of the different states, and they all had parks. But you could drive a bit out of town if you want. Just go once a week or something. Drive out of town, go sit in nature, and go to a park, and the difference is amazing. The spirits really are stronger. Now, personally, at night in the parks, I find it work really well, but some people might not be comfortable with that because some parks get a little sketchy at night. In this town, some parks get very sketchy at night. Stanley Park, oh man, so much for that. Gangs took it over. Anyway, so go sunrise. You might see an odd jogger, whatever. Just be quiet about your work or just do it on their way in or their way out of your area. But I've found when I go to a place, edge of a lake, edge of a river, a forest, whatever, and do some work, that the people walking by seem to not notice and seem to not walk by until I'm done. Then I finish and I start walking out and suddenly there's people. It's kind of awesome. It doesn't always work that way. One time on a beach, early evening, and some drunk people thought they'd walk into the circle. Okay, that doesn't usually happen though. That is a very rare thing. I don't know how they found that. We picked the wrong area that time or something. But in general, I would say 95% of the time, the people don't notice or leave you undisturbed. Now, if you live in an area, I did live in Texas for a while, so if you live in an area where people would freak out about your practice, you just do it quietly and subtly, a little tea light going, quiet prayers, just sit and meditate, whatever. Pretend you're up to something else, bring a picnic lunch. I did that, I did an experiment once. We did working on a sort of busy street corner. Well, not main streets, but still, there were people going by, there were people in that area. And we just put out picnic blankets and food like we're having a picnic. And just discreetly lit some candles and had the booze and water bottles, whatever, you just find a way to make it work. Not like we're going to stop our magic just because there are narrow-minded people in the world. No, we just be a little careful about it. So get outdoors, do some stuff outdoors. I recommend either at night or sunrise before other people are out because the energies really are better, the spirits can manifest better. Now the other option, if you're comfortable with this, and if you've been trained properly, you can do some work in cemeteries, but I would say only if you've been trained properly to enter and exit them and to respect the people there. Otherwise, stay out of there or you'll just be disturbing them. Because you go in, you do a whole bunch of magic, you're completely disturbing the energies in their space. So you have to know how to do it, know how to respect them, know how to do it properly, know how to not make a mess of the place. If you can do all that and you've been properly trained, cemeteries are awesome because not many living people go in most of the time. And in some places, they're extremely forested, which is awesome. Anyway, so get your butt out of the house, get out in the forest, turn off your cell phones, turn off all your electronics, you know, for the types of spirits that don't do well with the various Wi-Fi and all that. Some spirits, it really does affect them, so just turn that crap off. Yeah, Bluetooth. Anyway, turn that crap off, and then just get to work and focus. And you can have a little timer thing if, you know, if you have to get to work at a certain time or something, just have a timer that goes off at a certain time to remind you, because, you know, time differentials and magic. You can think you've only been there 15 minutes and it's an hour and a half, or vice versa. You think you've been there forever and it's only been 20 minutes. So you could set some sort of alarm so you can finish on a proper time, but in general, turning off all your electronic crap is a good idea. And don't take pictures of the ritual space after. Highly recommended not to do that. I know that's a cool thing though for Instagram. Secret, since not everybody's gonna watch this video. You really think all my ritual photos are the space I actually just worked? You really think? No, you set up a separate altar and take your pictures. An altar that looks just like that altar. But you don't want to, as soon as you're done working, take photos. I recommend against that. You can take photos with separate working, or post them 6 months later, or whatever. Just calm down with the photos. We're on our phones and tablets and whatever all day, every day, computers, especially if you work with a computer. You can turn that thing off for an hour or two. You'll really enjoy the relaxation of it. Anyway, Enochian.org, ranting again. Please comment, like, and share.